Hi. Now I'm doing a review on another series by Stacia Kane called the Downside Ghost series. And originally I read another series by Stacia Kane, the Megan Chase series. I heard that she had another one. And when I read what it was about and I read a few reviews, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to read this one. And I already had them downloaded and everything. But I was really tempted to just not read them after what I've read in reviews and that. And then I said, no, I'll give it a chance. And I'm so glad I did, because by the end of the third book, I was like crazy about them, and I was really sad when the third one finished, because there's 3 books out so far, and originally it was only meant to be a trilogy, but the author decided to bring out some more. So the 4th book is out in February, and it's called Sacrificial Magic. And I think she's planned about 6 books, so that's good. So what it's about? Okay, she describes it as kind of her dark and gritty series, and it's definitely that. The protagonist in it is a drug addict, and I'd never read that before. The books, who's kind of the narrator of the books. I never read one where one was a drug addict. Authors don't tend to make their characters that flawed, and she kind of is that way. But in another way, she's quite endearing because she's quite powerful in her powers, and she works for the church. Okay, in this world now, it's quite different in that ghosts exist. And about 24 years ago in this world, which was in 1997, ghosts roamed the world or something, and then every religion was deemed obsolete, and the only religion left now, if you call it that, is the Church of Truth. And basically they set out to kind of banish all these ghosts. And I'm not even 100% sure about this whole thing started out, the Haunted Week. I'd have to read back over it again, because it's not 100% clear in the book. Maybe that's just me, maybe I just skipped all that part, it kind of went past it too fast. But basically there's ghosts in the world, and the main character, Chess, her job is to kind of go to houses and decide whether there's a real haunting. If there's a real haunting, the people in the house will get money, and if it's a fake haunting, Chess will get a big bonus for herself, which she'll probably spend on drugs. But yeah, the good thing about her is she's quite powerful and loyal, and she kind of has this dual life, her church work and her kind of downside bad parts of the neighborhood drugs life. As I said, it's quite dark, and the character's quite damaged, but it's good. And the author, she's brilliant thinking of stories and exciting twists, and you're always captivated in the story. But as I said on my other review for other series, at the beginning her storytelling was a bit, sometimes it was a bit blurry, some things wouldn't be mentioned until later on, and I was like, when did that happen? That type of way, so kind of it was not 100% clear. But I wouldn't say that was a big deal. I mean, don't think that's every 5 minutes, things are just kind of being glossed over. That's just now and then. But you still get on with the story, and you still know what happens and who's the bad guy. And I mean, it's not that hard to follow, but it's just something to be aware of. One of the big negatives of the book for me now, and I've read reviews and other people have agreed, is the dialect that the author uses for her for the characters in the book. So anyone who really doesn't work in the church area, who works in kind of the bad parts of town, or who live in the bad parts of town, they have this type of dialect, and basically it's just ungrammatical speech, or grammatically incorrect speech. And I'll put an example in the description below, so go down there to look if you want to know. But it just got so annoying, and I just felt it was so unnecessary. And every time at the beginning I read it, and I was like, why did the author do this? All I'm doing now is concentrating on how much I don't like this type of speech. And Chess, the main character, she's fine, but everyone else she talks to practically has this kind of thing. And every sentence has to end in I, or AYE, or dig, question mark. Every sentence ends in a question mark. There's one character called Bump, and I half the time I didn't know what he was saying. Well, I kind of did, like, but I got the gist of what he was saying. Yeah, so I don't know why the author did that. I suppose she wanted to add a kind of another kind of layer to like the gritty side of town. But it wasn't necessary, I don't think. I mean, from the descriptions of the characters, you got that they were kind of bad news or whatever. So yeah, just be aware of that as well. But besides that, I really loved the books and the characters. And I was surprisingly, I did like Chess, the main character, and you know, she's so like prickly. And she has this tragic background, and she doesn't really want anyone around her. And then as the books go on, she kind of becomes friends with this one person, and it's quite sweet to see that develop. So I do recommend them. They are really good, and I suppose unlike her other series, the Megan Shea series, which I think is more accessible to everyone, this series some people might not like, but just the whole world and the darkness and grittiness of the kind of street and everything. But I really liked them, and if you like good stories and good plots and good characters, I mean, you should enjoy it. Give it a chance anyway, definitely. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to more spoilers. Okay, so if you don't want to know any spoilers, switch off now. Okay, so one character in the books is Terrible. It took me a while to warm up to Terrible, to be honest. Yeah, I wasn't sure what he was. It was hard to imagine him in my head, really. But gradually got to like him more and more, and I loved his protectiveness of kind of Chess. Like, instantly he kind of felt this kind of protective role, and I loved the scene where he goes to beat up Doyle for hitting her, and then later on Lex also goes to beat up Doyle for hitting her. Poor Doyle. Well, not really poor Doyle, he hit her. Yeah, and they had a really nice friendship, and this Terrible and Chess's scenes together were like a pleasure to read for me. I also liked Lex. I mean, I didn't mind him, and the way they made out like he totally used her, I didn't feel like he used her as bad as they made out in the books. I really liked his nickname for her, that was sweet, and I was glad that he remained quite civil and friendly with her even after she broke up with them. I loved all the angst of the whole triangle thing in the second book when Terrible found out about Chess and Lex, but I felt really sorry for Chess with the way Terrible was treating her after a while. He treated her so badly, like his hatred of her was quite strong. And after they had sex, the way he treated her was awful, I thought. Yeah, I thought that was a bit tough to read. Like, I did feel sorry for her. So you can understand how the whole thing developed, really. But, I mean, they did have a happy, sweet ending, which is nice. And I can't wait to read the fourth book and see how they are as a couple. I know it's not going to be smooth sailing for them, especially with Chess's kind of lack of, like, she doesn't want to get too close to people or show vulnerability, so that it's going to be tough for her, I know. Overall, I thought they were quite exciting and emotional, and I enjoyed them. I did have problems with the dialect used, as I said, and a little bit of the storytelling, like some bits felt rushed or skipped, but besides that, I'm really looking forward to the next one, which is a long wait until February. But I like Stacia Kane now. I think she's a good author. Like, she's gotten into her kind of flow now, and with the good enough storytelling. So I suggest you check them out. And if you've any opinions or other recommendations, let me know. And thanks very much for watching, and tune in next time.